Welcome, everyone. It is a lovely Tuesday. It sure is. Today, what are we talking about? The law. You notice what we tend to do when something happens. Sometimes we say, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? And we panic. So the reminder is this: turn to the law first. The law is not a last resort. And sometimes I think we forget that it is the first thing we do instead of the last, right? That's what we do sometimes because we think that being deliberate is somehow too much, too overwhelming. When in actuality, to be deliberate is the best thing. Think about it. We tend to be easily overwhelmed by life in certain areas of our own lives. But if we start with the law first, we can mitigate so much stress. If you know you've got something coming up, turn to the law, see it fully done, and then go on about your day. Don't pull an Angela and say, oh, it'll get done, right? No. Turn inward, and whatever it is that you require to be completed, see it as such. Experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's what you do first and foremost. Always go there first, not last. Because think about it. To be deliberate means you get to choose the experience. When we are not deliberate, we are actually at the mercy of causation. Every cause has its effect, and every effect is cause. So, if you're not being deliberate, it means you're walking around with your eyes closed, and whatever cause you happen to stumble upon, well, that's the effect you will get. And I'm sorry, that's not what I want for my existence. That sucks. Because then heaven only knows what you'll encounter. But if you are deliberate, you can select the cause. Or if you don't know the cause, you can select the effect that brings about the cause. So, either way, be encouraged to not be overwhelmed by taking full responsibility. See, I think that's also part of the issue. We are afraid of taking 100% responsibility. You see, when you take 100% responsibility, we can't say, oh, you did this to me. This is your fault. You hurt me. We can't say that anymore. We can't say that anymore. What we get to now say is, okay, I see what I did there. Let me fix that. You see, when you say, I see what I did, let me fix that, you are not waiting for a savior. You become your savior. That's the part. Look at how powerful it is. Accountability is not a bad word. Accountability, perhaps, if we swap it out for deliberate, that would make things a little bit easier to swallow. Because accountable would say, everything is your fault, right? And fault and blame, ugh, such tricky words. Leave you feeling kind of icky, you know? But if you look at it and say, what do I want to experience? I like this. I don't like that. Let me tweak it a little bit. Let me reshape that. Why would I reshape it? Because I am deliberate. I am intentionally deciding the trajectory of my life. And here's the thing, when you do that and something happens, you're not scanning the crowd looking for a guilty party. You're not looking for some kind of a culprit because you're not throwing blame. Throwing blame is like spitting in the wind. Nasty business. It comes back and it hits you square in the face. That's why you don't throw blame. Just take responsibility for the fact that, oh shoot, I allowed myself to fall into a state. Oh man, get up, girl. Let me choose another state to be in. State? What is that? Mood, mental attitude. Because our behavior is dictated by the mental attitude or mood that we occupy. So, if you are deliberate, it means you are choosing your mental attitude. And when you choose your mental attitude, you are choosing your behavior, which means you're acting according to your own volition. Hmm? That's what you're doing. And that's the best place to be, not a last resort. Remember this always. We have the ability to fall into any state. And when I say fall into, that's just what I mean. Oh, you stumbled. There you did. Oh, there you are. We just do. We go outside and we read the paper. Oh, you're in a state. You talk to a friend. Oh, you're in a state. A mental mood. We say the word triggered. Oh, you're in a state. But if we can remember that we can fall into a state, remember, you can be like Batman with your grappling hook. And, you point it and you aim and towards the next state, and it catches in the next state and you can pull yourself out. How do you pull yourself out of a state? By asking a simple question. I wonder what it would be like. What would it feel like if? And you begin to entertain feeling better. When you start feeling better, well, clearly you've changed your mood, right? That's how we get out of a mood that we don't want to be in. So remember and practice, because we go through states day in and day out. But the state that we go back to the most, the mood, the mental attitude that we are in the most, is our habitual attitude. And to generate a new habit, well, deliberately choose the new state, the new mental attitude over and over and over and over and over and over until that's just where you go back to. So you see, that's where the practice comes in. The practice of being deliberate means you are the one choosing the experience. Oh, but Angela, are you trying to tell me, look at the way the world is going? Are you trying to tell me I have some kind of control over that? You don't have control over that. You have control over you. Do not live your life from the outside in. Live your life from the inside out, because that is where life occurs. From within. When you plant a seed, where's the life? Oh, that's right, inside the seed. If you don't plant the seed, life remains dormant. So it doesn't ever happen from the outside, it always happens from the inside out. So being deliberate means you are selecting your harvest. Well, You don't just plant seeds. You plant the seeds according to what you want to eat. Do you not? Indeed. So it's not this far-fetched thing. So we get to select or choose, like the jukebox. You choose the song based upon how you want to feel, how you want to dance. You want to slow dance, or you want to line dance, you want to bust a move, you want to do the running man. Well, then you have to choose the appropriate song. It's the same thing for your experience that you want to have. So when you get up in the morning, listen, do it before you go to bed. Select the state or the mood or the mental attitude that you want to get up in. Fall asleep in it. Yes. And when you get up in the morning, oh, look, you're there. You're continuing from where you left off. And then that does what? It determines your behavior for the day. See? And if you find that you've gone through the day, you made it to lunchtime and you didn't lose yourself, you weren't triggered by anything, well, celebrate. Now, what do you want the afternoon to look like? You see, the reason I suggest doing it this way is because if you become bored, see the state or the mental attitude of boredom? From that state, one begins to feel a particular way. Restless. And when you're restless, you're looking for some kind of stimulation. Any kind of stimulation, really. And then what will you choose? Well, you'll choose according to the bored attitude that you are in. This is why, if you are deliberately selecting your mental attitude, you will find that you don't procrastinate. You will find that you don't lose your cool easily. What does that mean? It means you and I are becoming more mentally disciplined. And if you are mentally disciplined, then your life is disciplined. And if your life is disciplined, ain't no stopping us now. You see? Listen, we think that being deliberate stops. Never that. Never that. Listen, everybody's talking about Terrence Howard at the moment. But do you know what Terrence Howard understands? The principles of creation. Listen to him and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. He was talking about light and sound. Well, light and sound appear to be opposite, but they are not. They're just different variations of vibration. They're the same in their nature. So, of course, you can go from light to sound, from sound to light. Same in its nature. Color, same thing, because color is light. All he's talking about is the seven principles and how you can expand upon them to answer certain questions. But don't let me start. So what I'm saying to you is be deliberate in your life. Be deliberate in your life. Choose your mental attitude. When you choose your mental attitude, you have chosen your experience. And when you've chosen your experience, you're not easily swayed by the mood of another. Let's not be fickle. Because if we're easily moved by the mood of another, what does that mean? You've allowed yourself to be controlled. You see, people say, oh, what a conspiracy theory. But if you would sit and analyze the information through the lens of the law, you wouldn't have to guess. You would simply observe what is being done. And if you are deliberate to observe, you will not be easily rattled by the morning's headlines. You see, the Bible tells you wars and rumors of war. If you are deliberate, you are not easily moved or petrified by those things. So again, we think the law is something that, oh, well, I'll use it if I need it. No, 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 no. If you need it, do you need oxygen? As much as you need oxygen, you need the law. Oh, that's why I say the law is not a last resort. It is your first line of defense. It's your first line of life itself. And the laws of nature are so simple that they are taken for granted. Well, think about it. I say to you, you reap what you've sown. You know that means if you plant corn and you go outside and you see tomatoes in your garden, you're going to freak out. Not because someone told you to freak out, but you know that something is wrong. You deliberately planted corn. Wait a minute. Did I plant in the wrong garden? You begin to question yourself. Well, how did these get here? But yet we take that simple thing for granted. Reap what you have sown. We take it for granted, when in actuality, our very existence hinges on it. Now, if we swapped out summer for winter in the wrong order, well, we'd feel some kind of way, wouldn't we? Sure we would. Yet, we take the laws of nature for granted. The laws of nature, the principles of creation, the laws of creation, our very being rests on them. I want to challenge you, your way of thinking. Because we always say, trust me, we always say God is within us. Right? We always say that. What if you began to recognize instead that you were within God? Well, where do you think the principles of creation come from? So, practice being deliberate in your every thought, word, action. Remember, it's one thing, but you break it out so you kind of sort of know what you're doing. You're thinking, you're speaking, and you're acting. But you're only ever speaking and acting according to the thought. So you're only doing one thing. This is why the thought, the word, and the behavior match. And if you pay attention, you will see that they match because they have to match. We must always be in correspondence. We can't not be in correspondence, meaning you can't not reap what you have sown. It's the only thing you can do. So this is why your predominant thought compels your speech, which then compels your actions. So when you are deliberate to choose the mental attitude, you are submitting to what you say, and you are submitting to your actions. Ultimately, you are submitting to self because you were deliberate. And more, we are becoming more disciplined. Why? So that when you say, let there be, it becomes. There's no doubt in you because you spent the time being deliberate. What do you think you're doing? The cause, you being deliberate. What's the effect? Oh, look, is that confidence? Is that faith? Is that trust in self? Yes, it is. So don't think that being deliberate doesn't have a far greater focus. Don't think that being disciplined just means you're disciplined in this existence. Even if you do not believe in reincarnation, listen, I'm not here to tell you what to or what to not believe in. What I'm here to say to you is when the physical self ends, the spiritual self continues. Where? Don't ask me because I don't know. All I'm telling you is it has to continue because it cannot be destroyed. So if it can't be destroyed, it must continue somewhere. And when it continues, all of the things that you have practiced continue with it. You think you forget them? They're impressed upon the spirit. So don't take it for granted that being deliberate ends when we physically die, when the body physically goes back to the ground. You see, you are already immortal. So don't let anybody come along and try and sell you immortality juice. You're already immortal because the spirit cannot be destroyed. It just simply is. That's it. So being deliberate is far reaching. And that's why I will always remember this line from Gladiator. What you do in life echoes in eternity. Well, how would it echo? Because of the spirit. So you see, if we would practice being deliberate in our mental state, but look at what happens to us. We're pulled to and fro by what? The injustices of the world. Do you not know that you contribute to that? Oh, how dare you, Angela? Well, if you can contribute to the injustice, well, that means you can contribute to the justice, can you not? How so? Your mental attitude, your mental mood. Because if you look at it, the experience that you will experience on the outside came from within you. And that experience that you projected out into the world so that you could partake in it, what do you think everybody else is doing? Whether deliberately or in Coming Bird Song? Whether deliberately or unwittingly, everybody is doing the exact same thing. And the deliberate experiences that match in their frequency, they will entangle. This is why people can say violence begets violence. Peace also begets more peace. So, you see how far-reaching being deliberate is? So, check yourself every moment. You'll know. You'll know. If you watch your behavior, you'll know what state or mood you've allowed yourself to slip into. That is our encouragement this morning. I tell this child, don't put his face to the wall. He's not Hezekiah. He's not begging for more life. Phew. Anywho, I digress. Let me welcome everyone to the space this morning. Hey, let's go. Symmetric, C staff, and hello, Mac Duke. Welcome to the space. This is my first time saying your name and meeting with you. Thank you for being here this morning, and I trust that you can find it helpful to apply to your everyday life. Who's on YouTube and Facebook this morning? Well, who's made themselves known in the chat? The better man. Not y'all have made yourselves known in the chat, but the others, they've not, but I see you. Who's on fan base this morning? Hey, son. I see you. Let's see who was on Fanbase this morning. Flo Smiles, Oracle Treehouse, Shea Butter, Miss McQueen, Miss Boricua, Joaquin, hey, Moon, and Happy is in the house. Whoo, he is on it this morning. Thank you all for being here on this lovely day. It really is glorious, you know. Remember to deliberately choose your mental attitude. Now, depending on your nuance, your personality, some of us like to write things down, some of us like to listen to music and dance. Whatever that is for you, whatever puts you in the what? The mood. If you want to write down, hey, how do you want to feel today? I want to be jovial today. I want to be calm today. You just write down those words on a piece of paper. Just write them down. Or on a little flashcard. The dollar store has flashcards for like $1.25. You get 100 in a packet. And you write down how you want to feel, but don't just write down how you want to feel. When you look at the words, see if you can recognize or notice that the feeling is being stirred up within you as you read the word. As you say the word, it begins to stir you up, arouse you then, for lack of a better phrase. Right? It begins to do that to you. It begins to make you feel. You get a little stirring, you know. But that's how you want to feel. So if that's how you want to feel, you can guarantee those are the types of people you're going to come across in the day. Because you planted those seeds of how you want it to be. You said, these are the effects I would like in my day. But if those are the effects, well, cause and effect never travel alone. They are companions. They travel holding hands. Cause and effect. Cause does not have to say, effect, where are you? Effect does not have to say, cause, I'm over here. No. Every cause has its effect. They travel together. So if you choose the effect, you will encounter the cause because they go together. Just practice, and you will begin to see how powerful you are. Not powerful to beat somebody down with your newfound skills. Oh, never that. You know why you won't do that? Because you will reap what you've sown. And if you want to reap the repercussions of being a bully, go ahead. Don't let me stop you. But it will give you pause. You see, there's no punishment, you know. There's no reward. There's just a matter of reaping what you've sown. And we always, if we're deliberate, you'll ask yourself before you choose, if I do this, I know that'll happen. If I say somebody's going to catch these hands, I'm going to have to catch hands for sure. Do I want that? Nah. Let me choose something else. You see what being deliberate does to us? So that when you commit to what you actually want to be instead of falling into an unnecessary commitment. You see what the law does for you? Oh, it makes me want to say hallelujah, but those are my church days. The law just puts a pep in your step. You start walking around with the attitude of, I can do this. Let me test it out. And you'll stop saying things like, well, I don't qualify. I'm not good enough to do that. You won't say that ever again. You know why you won't? You'll say, wait a minute, I know what I want to be. I am it. The moment that desire arises, it has been fulfilled. And you're well on your way towards it. And you say, well, it is done. I know, because that is my desire. And you begin to see in your mind's eye, and you begin to entertain all of the things you're going to do because it's done. And you begin to entertain the things you're going to do. And then in two shakes of a lamb's tail, there you are experiencing it. So that means if you say, I really would like to be whatever profession, you're not going to say, but I don't have the degree for that. I don't have this for that. You will just see it as done. And if a degree is required, whatever money you need to attend school, you think you'll have to go searching and begging for it? No. Because it is part of what is required to get you to where you say you're going. So the door just opens for you. Oh, but Angela, you're making life seem too simple. If I put the seed in the ground, does it not grow? Does it not rain? Does the sun not shine upon it? Listen, how much more simple do you want it to be? Life is simple. It is easy. But we make it complex when we say, well, that's not possible. Well, I don't know if I can. That's because you forgot to use the law first. You see, the law is a beautiful thing. Don't take it for granted. It is the very air in your lungs. How so? Because if you inhale, you must exhale. When you exhale, you must inhale. That is law. It is not just something that we do. It is governed by law. If you eat well, then you have to either go number one or number two. Well, as within, so without. Every cause has its effect. So you drink a lot, the bladder becomes full. And what is the effect? Oh, I got to empty the bladder. Oh, you thought that the heart was beating because it just was? The heart beats according to law. Your blood pressure rises and lowers according to law. Your epinephrine, norepinephrine, your cortisol, fight or flight, all happen according to law, not because it is random. Think about it. The mood, the mental mood, mental attitude that you embody will cause a chemical response in your body. So much so we say, oh my God, my hormones are out of whack. No, honey, the hormones are not out of whack. Your thoughts are out of whack. The thoughts, oh, Angela, how could you say such a foolish thing? Well, the predominant thought that you entertain must cause the body to respond. Well, how else would you know what is going on internally? You must see it in the evidence of the body. That is the law. As within, so without, as above, so below. Oh, look, there's cause and effect. If I say to you, bear, you turn around, oh my God, where? And you're ready to run. And all of a sudden, you start shaking, because you calm down. You're like, there's no bear. But the adrenaline has been released in your body. Why? Because you thought that your safety was in jeopardy. Cause and effect. Oh, Angela, that's just nature. And again, I say to you, if it did not happen according to nature, you would have cause to worry. Because then you would ask, well, what's happening? What's going on? Things aren't happening as they should. That is the beauty of nature. It's just running in the background that we take it for granted. So today, my beautiful friends, you do not take the law for granted. You use it to become more deliberate, which means you select your mental attitude and your mental mood, which will automatically cause you to behave according to it. Well, think about it. When you're hungry, you can override it. You can delay your hunger. Only thing we can't delay is explosive diarrhea. Hello, you need to you need to pray. You won't override it because it's coming. But the other things, you can override your thirst for a moment till you get where you're going. You can delay it, but it is inevitable that it must be quenched. You see what I'm saying to you? And it all happens according to the law. What law, Angela? Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Correspondence. As above, so below. Above is within. Below is without. Vibration. Everything is moving. Nothing rests. Nothing stands still because it cannot. It is moving from where it is to where it is going. That is the law of polarity. And it moves in a very specific rhythm, an ebb and a flow. And that ebb and a flow, oh dear, brings about a cause, which thereby triggers an effect because every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. Hmm? And finally, gender. You project your idea out into the world. It is masculine. But when it comes back as an experience, in order for it to come back, it had to be implanted somewhere. Some say the subconscious mind, some say the ether. But either way, it was planted somewhere, which is the womb, feminine, and it had to come back to you as an experience. So you see, the law is ever at work. It is ever at work. And you get to be deliberate by selecting the effect. We don't always know the cause, but the effect, as I said before, travels with the cause. If you come upon cause, you can guarantee the seed is taken because it's taken by effect. They travel together. So if you don't know the cause, but you know the effect, you will bring about the cause. And if you know the cause, well, you can predict the effect. Then we practice being deliberate by choosing our mood that we will entertain. Right? When we become deliberate and we choose the mood that we want to entertain, we become disciplined. Well, of course, because then you're not allowing yourself to be pulled to and fro. That, my beautiful friends, is how we live. Living deliberately. Instead of being victim to cause and effect, be master of your mood. Be master of the mood. Because even though you live life and you live it unwittingly, it means you're going along and you say, well, that's life, that's just how it happens. Even though you say that, you are still governed by law. But it is best to be deliberate, to select your mood, select your attitude, because then you're master of self. You can't change the law, but you can master yourself in accordance with law to bring about a more beautiful experience in the world. Indeed. And then we would recognize that our outer world changes. And if peace is within, if you plant the seeds of peace, well, what do you think you'll reap? Well, not violence, I'll tell you that. You'll reap peace. So, can you change the outer world? Of course you can. By first changing self. Now, oh, Cyber. Hi, Renee. Hey, Asanya. Oh, look, it is Mr. Ken. Hello, darling. Thank you all for being here. Now I will get the bowl ready. And when you hear the bowl this morning, ask yourself, is she crazy? We already know. We already know. But here's the question for you. May you hear the bull and possible bird song this morning. Where do you want to be deliberate today? What mood will you select? Remember, the mood is like a jukebox. What song do you want to dance to? Well, that depends. As I said, you want to slow dance? You want to hold that baby tight? Or do you want to line dance? Do you want to dun 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 dun? Do you want to do the hustle? Do you want to do the shuffle? What do you want to do? Select the song. Then select the mood of the type of day you want to have. And I dare you to do it. You can try to prove me wrong if you'd like, but you wouldn't be proving me wrong. You'd be proving the law right. I don't make the law, my friends. I am governed by it, though, just as you are. So select today as you hear the bowl and bird song, select your mood that you want to go through the day with. And if you catch yourself having fallen from that mood, shoot, go back to the mood you want to be in. And then tell me what kind of day you had. My DMs are always open. You can tell me. And I will either feign surprise or I'll throw you confetti. Listen, I'll do both. I'll feign surprise. No, you had a great day because you chose your mood? Oh, how intriguing. There are no surprises with the law. How can there be? You already know the turnout. Cause and effect will tell you exactly what it is. Anyway, let me get the bowl because you know how excited I get. Marjorie, darling. Or should I say, e buongiorno, my darling. Ah, my bellissima. I see you. Madre. We have our own inside joke going. It is all good. Let me get the bowl for us this morning. Um, Test yourself, why don't you? And see what you're capable of. See how disciplined you can become in your moods. And I promise you, when you see it for yourself, you'll be like the woman at the well in the Bible. You'll run into the village and you say, oh, come see a man who told me everything I've done. But I digress. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Mac Symmetric Mr. Kim. Thank you all for being here. And YouTube and Facebook, Cyber, Marjorie, Renee, Sonia, Sun, A Not, The Better Man, and the ones who have not made themselves known in the chat. I see you too on YouTube and Facebook. Listen, tonight we will continue on with the other 18 questions. Because remember, this was the follow-up from the lessons last week. Man, it was lit. There's even a question: how do I get a husband? How do I get a wife? And the process by which to do so. Oh, I posted it as a short. Well, it's not really a short, it's a short video. It's 2 minutes, but everything has been timestamped. Every question is timestamped under that video so that it will make things easy for you to toggle through. But we're continuing on with question 19 tonight. So I look forward to seeing you tonight if you are available. If not, the replay will be there. And as always, my DMs are always open. So much love to each and every one of you. Oh, beloved love troll, hey! That's tonight at 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you do know that I love you. And I'll see you tonight. Much love to each and every one of you. Indeed, Cyber, we shall have the most incredibly beautiful day. Why? Because we are deliberate. That's why. All right. Peace out, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I just love y'all. Twitter is closed.